If in 90 days your life has not changed by you following these 6 steps, come back to this video, troll me in the comments. We're gonna go through the only mandatory 6 steps that you need to truly unlock your power so that you actually start seeing real results in your life. I know your life will change. That's how confident I am in these 6 transformative steps. Let's get into it. Not living the life you deserve is one of the hardest things to deal with because you start to ask yourself, am I just not one of those people that things happen for? You just haven't unlocked the power that you need to get the things that you deserve, the relationship you know you deserve, the job you know you deserve, the access you deserve. But the thing is, no one's gonna come fix it for you. No one's gonna come save you. You have to save yourself. You have to fix it yourself. The first and most important thing might be the hardest, but it is the most important. Address your inner child trauma. This goes so deep, and so many of us don't even realize it. I can guarantee you that it's showing up in how you show up with other people, at your job, for your kids, for yourself, most importantly. And that can look a lot of different ways. You could be sabotaging things that are good because maybe you heard messages from your childhood that you weren't good enough, that you were not going to succeed. Maybe you're emotionally avoidant. I'm speaking from experience as someone who has sabotaged relationships because I didn't know that my childhood trauma was manifesting itself in how I interacted with people and how I allowed myself to show up. Once I was honest with myself about why I did some of the things that I did, well, you get to a point in life where you have to realize it's not them, it's me. And that is one of the hardest things to do, but it is also one of the most freeing. We have to heal our inner child before we can do anything in life. If that inner child is not healed, they are in there saying, no, 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 don't do it. We have to stay here. I'm scared. Because remember, when we were 6 and we tried that, this horrible thing happened. You have to go in there and say, hey, it's okay. I got you now. I'm going to take care of you. You weren't taken care of as a child, but I'm going to take care of you now. You have to reparent that inner child. One of the first things that I want you to do before you do anything else, write a letter to yourself and all the things that you needed to hear as a child. I want you to write in that letter whatever you needed to hear as a child. I want you to put that in your letter, address that letter as if you're talking to your child self. Once you do that, you are going to need to do step 2. You're going to create a vision for your life and start to plan backwards. What is it that you want your life to look like? Nothing makes you feel more powerful than having a vision for your life and the steps that you need to get there. In the times that I felt the most powerless and hopeless and lost is when I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I left my graduate program after I got my master's in clinical psychology. I left my program. I had no idea what I was going to do. And that has been probably one of the times that I felt the most insecure. I was bartending, I was working at animal clinics, I was working as a server at restaurants. I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea what my life was going to be. I just left a PhD program. I was so lost. It wasn't until I started on my journey in tech and entrepreneurship, and I did all of that work to figure out what made me happy, that I started feeling confident in myself again. Why? Because I had a purpose, and now I felt driven towards that purpose. And now I knew I just need to laser in and focus on these steps to get to where it is that I want to be. How do you want to feel on a day-to-day? What types of people do you want in your life? Do you want to be in a relationship? What kinds of things do you want to be doing every day? Say what you want right now, the vision for your life. You want to make money in a way that makes you happy. You want to be happy at your job, or maybe it's not a job, maybe it's a business, or maybe it's content creation. Maybe you want to have a happy relationship. So what needs to happen to make those things true? Let's start with happiness and how you're making money. You got to first identify what makes you happy. So say what makes you happy is helping people solve problems. And say right now you want to do a 9-to-5. You don't want to pursue entrepreneurship. Okay, if this were me, I would go to Google, I would go to ChatGPT, and I would say, what are some jobs that allow me to help people solve problems? I would see what jobs Google, ChatGPT recommends. I see software engineers. Software engineers help people solve problems. Okay, then I'm going to look at what are the credentials that a software engineer needs? And then I'm going to look at what I have. How do I fill the gap between what I need to become a software engineer and where I'm at now? Maybe I look at that and say, you know what? I don't have a degree right now. It takes a 4-year degree, 3 years of experience, or it takes a boot camp. I don't really want to do that. What is something that's related to being a software engineer that I might still enjoy? I'm going to go back to Google and look at what the other results are. Now I see customer service engineers need a little bit less experience than software engineers. Now I'm going to go look at that gap again. What is it that customer service engineers have? What is it that I have? And what do I need to do to fill those gaps? Now it says that I need 2 years of experience. Okay, 2 years of experience. How can I get those 2 years of experience? Maybe I can do a course. So you keep doing that, you keep doing that. You're gonna go through a lot of nitty-gritty planning to break that goal into little steps. You need to be small so that you don't get overwhelmed. Let's do the same thing for relationships. You gotta think about, what kind of person do I want? Once you figured out what kind of person you want, you have to meet them, okay? How do you meet them? You're not gonna meet them in your house. You have to go outside. You have to come up with all of these steps. Once you have your vision, once you have your goal, look at those little steps and just lock in on your arc so that you can reach those goals. Nothing's going to make you feel more powerful, I promise. Once you've started your inner child healing, you now have a vision for your life, you're going to go to therapy. And you're going to go to therapy after you've done those first two things, because what you and your therapist are going to work on is, one, continuing to heal that inner child trauma, and also understanding how that healing process is now going to help you along your journey to achieve your vision. Because once you go into therapy, every therapist is going to ask you, what is it that you need help working on? So you should be able to say, I need some help dealing with my inner child trauma, some things that happened in my childhood, and I feel like it might be holding me back from achieving this goal that I have for my life, which is. So that's going to allow the therapist now to come up with a personalized plan for you, because now they know, okay, so this is what we need to work through, and we're working through this to get to this point. So you're going to go in that order. And these therapists, they're going to help you see, once they understand your goal and what you're working through from your childhood, they're going to start to see patterns, and your emotions are going to come out, and they're going to help you process and work through some of that stuff in such a way that is directly aligned with the goal that you have for your life. Because this is not a journey that you should be going on your own. You need help. So you're going to find a good therapist. Finding a good therapist is honestly a lot like dating. You may have to go through more than one to find someone who is good for you. Do not get discouraged if you go to see a therapist and it doesn't work out right away, because that is normal. Get a therapist, find a good one, stay the course until you find someone that you really like. Engage in practices that make you feel connected to your higher power. Praying, meditating, taking walks in nature, whatever makes you feel more connected to your higher power. I want you to do that one time, 5 minutes a day. If it's prayer, for example, just say a 5-minute prayer once a day. If that's all you can manage for right now. If it's walking in nature, I want you to do that one time, even if it's just walking outside, maybe to your car and back. If that's all you have time for, I want you to do that one time per day. And this is important because being connected to your higher power makes you feel, one, you're not alone. It connects you with your purpose. It helps you find clarity with your purpose. It makes you feel powerful because you know that there is something bigger in this life that is supporting you and is pushing you towards the destiny that you have, towards the journey that you know you should be on. It gives you something to lean on when you feel tired. Powerful people get tired. It reduces anxiety. It makes you feel like it's just a matter of time. It helps you to keep pushing and to keep going. I promise you, it's going to make a huge difference. And if you don't have a higher power, do some research and figure out what makes you feel connected to it. Because for some people, it is just nature and that is their higher power. For some people, it's the universe itself and that is their higher power. Do a little bit of digging, figure out what makes you feel connected to something bigger, and that is your higher power. Oh, this is a big one. This one was very hard for me. So this one, for my people pleasers, my overthinkers, my anxious folks, and that was me too. Practicing honesty, getting rid of the white lies, saying no when you actually want to say no, not saying yes when you actually want to say no. Being completely honest, tell people how you feel. And I'm going to tell you, nothing feels more powerful than going to sleep at night knowing you spent the entire day being completely true to yourself, not abandoning yourself, and putting your needs first. You feel the most authentic. And the reason why that feels so powerful is because you are the one taking care of yourself. You are taking care of yourself, your inner child, and you're like, I got us. I got this. I put me first. I can do this and it feels good. And you know what feels even better is when you're honest with people and they still love and accept you. It's amazing because you realize I don't have to choose between taking care of myself and putting myself first and having people around who I love, who I enjoy. There's nothing like it, but you're never going to be able to feel that if you don't try telling people how you feel, if you don't try being honest with people, you're never going to know whether they're going to stay or not. And if they don't stay, there's something really powerful about that too, is knowing that you put yourself first and then seeing people distance themselves or walk away, because now you know you are creating a circle of people around you who truly value you and want the best for you and are okay with you putting yourself first. The people who are for you will want you to put yourself first. Like when you are constantly putting yourself second, it's heavy. You're weighed down by other people's needs. How are you doing anything for yourself? You can't. So no wonder why you don't have the job you want. No wonder why you haven't started that LLC, because you're too busy carrying around everyone else's needs. So I want you to practice moving forward. This is a challenge for this step. I want you to find one way to be honest in a way that you haven't before. So say your friend has invited you out for drinks, you've already committed, but you are just mentally not up for it. You're not feeling great, you're exhausted mentally, and you don't have it in you to go. So maybe whereas before you would make up an excuse and say you have a lot of work, I want you to try being honest. I want you to instead say, I don't want to flake on you. However, I am mentally not doing great today. I'm pretty exhausted and I'm not going to be able to make it out tonight. We can reschedule for a different day, but I am just not doing well. I want you to challenge yourself and say that to someone. Mind you, do this with people who you have a somewhat close of a relationship with. Make sure that the situation is appropriate, right? I imagine if you're getting drinks, it's with someone that you have a somewhat close relationship with. And I want you to challenge yourself and tell them the honest truth and see how they respond. And that's going to be very telling about where you stand with that person and the quality of that relationship and whether that relationship is going to serve you as you're on this journey to unlocking your power. You're going to dedicate your time to learning one new useful skill. And when I say useful, this is a skill that should either bring you more money or more access. If your skill is becoming really good at trading stocks and investing, that is likely going to give you more money. Or if you're learning a skill like how to network, that is going to give you more access. In order to unlock your power, in order to feel powerful, you have to be confident. Nothing builds confidence like knowledge. Nothing makes you feel more confident than knowing that what you know is what you know, and no one can ever take that from you. When I transitioned from psychology into tech, I was so insecure. I knew that I knew less than everyone. And yes, I had taken this boot camp and I did all the things, but I still did not know as much. And I was terribly insecure and I felt very powerless. It wasn't until I said, you know what? I am tired of feeling stupid. I am tired of being envious of other people who know more than me. That issue is fixable, right? All I had to do is know more, is learn more. Once I started doing the extra work, taking the courses, practicing, asking for help, doing all those things, and I began to know more, I began to feel more confident. Because now I'm like, you can't really hold a candle to me because anything that you know, I know, but I couldn't feel that way without having done the work. So I want you to pick one useful skill, and I want you to create a plan for yourself in mastering that skill. I want you to spend this year mastering that skill. And I say year because I don't want you to burn out. I don't want you to try to master a new skill in 60 days if that's not feasible with how your life is set up right now. I want you to spend a minimum of 1 hour per week. Of course, you can do more, but at the minimum, I want you to walk away from the end of this year saying that you spent 52 hours towards mastering a new skill that's going to give you more money or more access. That skill should also be connected to the vision that you've created for your life in step 2. Those are the 6 steps. Those are the 6 steps. They are so powerful on their own, but together they are life-changing. They changed my life, right? Like, I'm speaking from experience. I didn't just read this somewhere. These are the steps that changed my life, that turned me from someone who always felt helpless, who was so bogged down. I was bitter. I was losing relationships. I was not progressing in the way that I wanted to progress. And after doing these things, I truly stepped into my power, and I want that for you. I want this year to be your year. I want this year to be the turning point in your life. I want you to have the life that you really deserve. It's enough. Enough is enough. Become that powerful, unstoppable version of yourself. And like I said, if you do these 6 steps and in 90 days you don't see even a small change, come back and I give you permission to just troll me in the comments. I want you to come back and tell me how your life has changed 90 days from now with you following these 6 steps. I know you can do it. I am here digitally supporting you. If you found some value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, see you next time. You got it.